Can I do it tonight? I haven't done it in a long time.
We still haven't gotten a
correct one. We've had a lot of people attempt to give us. Can I do
like
this?
4 different. Yeah, you can do it.
I haven't done one of these in a long time. All right, so knife going to start already for God, putting damage into Valens, and coming back right into him is Sank, so back to a 4-on-4 situation. Now they slow things down. Look at this triangle set up right now from Nihilum as the flank comes down from Hiko, and he's going to try and get damage in, but Keithstar's way too strong. These Brazilians definitely know how to put on a barbecue, and they're cutting up the meat right now. As Semphis, the last that's left, he's going to drop immediately, and Fur gets away with it. So Keithstars get their choice of side, and I highly anticipate it'll be CT to start.
Nicely done. I like the Brazilian barbecue shout out. That was cool. I liked it.
Yeah, they're fun. First one I went to was the ESEA one. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's a good place. Like grilled pineapple. It's an animal, but we did say it was going to be a CT versus T-sided matchup, and Nihilum starting on this this T side. Excuse me. This is going to be rough for them. And the last match that they played against Elevate on this map, they got 2 gun rounds, and the only reason they won it is because they won the match is because they won that pistol round. So this might end up being very, very crucial for him. And this actually is a very similar setup. They had people grouped up, although Keithstars looks like they have not left spawn yet, so this might not actually be live.
That would be... They're leaving now. They're really late. They're not calling not live, so I guess this is... I mean, maybe they play for a retake on both sites? I don't know. That's really weird. Maybe they got up out of their chairs because they all lived together and had a little team huddle together like you do at LAN.
Right? Maybe they thought there was going to be another ready up.
I mean, they just gave up B site. Semphis now with 2 in the Tech 9 as he comes off spools. It's possible that they would have thought there was another ready up. That's peculiar for sure. I mean, strategically, the only reason I can see them is like, oh, maybe they'll rush a site, we'll figure it out and go for a 5-man retake. But that didn't, no one even moved, so, and that would never happen anyway. Valens gets bolts. They try and go for this retake with ZQK, who manages only 1, and Fur's going to drop down. So peculiar start from Keithstars. Semphis already around onto construction by the time they arrive on this site. And 1-0 Nihilum.
That's interesting. That is very, very interesting. And that's actually, that's the exact same pistol round they ran against Elevate. They had 4 grouped up towards B. They had Hiko over in the halls, but I mean, they didn't really need to do much because no one was playing in the bomb site. Keithstars not going for that second round buyer. They do upgrade to 250s with 1 smoke, but not picking up the armor behind it, so they're going to go into that 4th round with plenty of utility. Where'd they just throw this smoke? Where did this come out? I'm trying to find it. Oh, he still has it in his hands.
I can't, yeah, I was going to say, I don't see it on the map, so it hasn't been dropped anywhere yet. This will give Semphis a chance to work up closer to top middle as well as it's still naked, but he has that Tech 9. Mac 10 for Valens, the rest, 1 AK actually for automatic, the rest are on the Galil's rifles no less. Steel gets a little bit of damage dealt onto him, in fact, good amount of damage, 77. That's a lie, I can't count. That would be 67. Either way, the nades did come in and Sanks around the corner. You talked about it. Entry fragging for him with the rifle, not onto the op on the T side. He finds 2. That'll allow them to enter quite easily. In fact, and Keithstars, although they're all lurking toward middle, don't even look like they want to go for this retake. They haven't invested anything, so it could be worth it to play. Actually, they've got P250s, but not a whole lot invested. They could play for this exit frags, but there's no point going for this all the way in. And Hiko already spotting up ZQK. Gets the secondary peek after dropping out the molly. Good peek, or rather dink onto Hiko, though. So him and Sanks each taking a good amount of damage, 9 and 12 respectively. But Semphis gets in behind Furgod. And Bolts, good shot back in return, gets Semphis. Now he's got a chance here if he can find Hiko, but Hiko's not going to be peeking. He's already retreated with Sanks. It's the 2 high HP players to go for the post-round peaks. And Valens gets the extra $600. That doesn't help at all. Nihilum now 2.
And this is going to be a 3rd round buy out of Keithstars. So this is something we haven't seen in quite some time since those 2nd round buys became so prevalent. I mean, this is something that used to happen very, very often. But Keithstars picking up some FAMASes. They have some smokes. No kits, though, and very light head armor. So those Galils and those SMGs even are going to be brutal if they connect with any of these heads. That'll be absolutely harsh. And look at this, a 3-person B push. Fur's going to come down. He's going to take out Sanks initially. That's a good fight, and now they just need to fall back and maintain this man advantage. But going to take a little bit of nade. But they have given up the rest of Banana now, so now they can play it a little bit more safely. That 3rd player is going to rotate back to A, and they'll just set up in a default defense.
This is looking good so far for Keithstars, managing to slow them down decently. Really passive A, but this will allow Fallen to get on a rotate quickly if he needs to. And he may need to, because automatic taking that step, doesn't get spotted from Steel just yet. Smoke gonna go off CT, but Steel playing in this position. In fact, they both are. Him and Fur in that position where it just catches them off. If a smoke goes out, they're forward to the flashes, but good trade with Automatic getting that one kill. Does force, no, it should force Fallen over, but he hasn't moved yet. So for whatever reason, Keystars have a read to stay put and putting a lot of faith in Fur. Was the MVP last week. He's going to have to come up with an MVP-style play here on this entry because Valens is already around the corner. He'll Molotov off on Emo. But Fur's not in that position. He's on the new box. That one flash does come out, blinds him up, and Fur, he waits for them to come around. Fallen has got in position to work construction. This time popping out, well timed, takes down Hiko. That's the bomb as well, and now it's going to be all on ZQK to get over and help support. As Fallen gets in from construction, as mentioned, he was already in position, and he's going to get in late. Well played. Really good retake, or rather rotation from Keystars. It was a little slow, but they knew they had Nihilum just waiting it out. Yeah, it was actually, like, that's the thing. They had this take, and you called it out, that Fur was the only one there. They had the advantage. Obviously, they don't know that, but because it was such a passive take on that bomb site, it gave so much time for the rotation for Keystars to come in, so they were able to very much punish how passive Nihilum wanted to take that bomb site. But they do get a buy out of this run. They have 4 AK-47s and a Glill, so a good-looking round for Nihilum here to try and prevent Keystars from building any kind of momentum. That mid-smoke on Banana this time does allow Steel to get a little more forward up toward the sandbags position. Nade going to go out over top. Automatic getting a little bit of damage from that, and Valens down to 22. This is a reasonable start. This is a lot of early damage dealt already on Nihilum. As Fallen now takes down Sankston. Little do they know that Steel's also in the corner. An Automatic who hyper-focuses back toward Fallen gets caught off by that. So they'll fall back into B now. Good passive picks, or rather aggressive picks, and then passive hold. They'll fall and stay committed to this, but Bolt's inside the graveyard. He finds Hiko on A. That's the lurk, and Bomb's still down on T-stairs, but there's nowhere to go. Semphis, he's still waiting inside the boiler doorway, but Valens with low HP might just find it wise to hang on to that AK if this doesn't go anywhere with Semphis. Yeah, but Semphis does pick up Fur, immediately trade it off, and yeah, it's just right down to Valens. So this is that same default setup that we have Nihilum doing right now. They didn't change anything so far from with their Elevate matchup. It's just, you know, Valens playing in mid and supporting the Banana take. It's going to be Sanks and Automatic going for that kind of control, and it's going to be Hiko and Semphis try to clear out halls. The interesting thing is, whenever Elevate stacked halls in the first matchup that Nihilum had on this map, they got absolutely murdered. Nihilum did. Hiko and Semphis just got absolutely murdered every round. It just eliminates them off the map without causing any damage. So it's going to be a little bit scary if Keystars ever decides to play aggressive halls. It's kind of a weakness of that delayed take. And gotta say, I mean, coming through that smoke and Banana, that's a little bit crazy, I think, from Sanks and Automatic. They just go mowed down so easily, especially with like a minute and 10 seconds left on the clock. You can slow things down and pace it out. Don't have to commit that much so early on. So they go for this jump from Sankston to the boiler. Semphis already coming around the stairs at the same time at the corner, and good play by them. They stack up and they overwhelm Fur. He can't do anything to slow them down, so Boltson Graveyard's going to have to hold true one more time on A, as ZQK has to go passive on the arch side to compensate for the gap that's been given. But look at Steel making up for it as well. He's going to take as much map control as possible inside Banana as a result of this, but Valens may peek and in fact doesn't even need to. He walks directly into Valens' crosshair. Now they've got a rifle up to complement the AK that Semphis has, and they've got a chance to try and potentially split up the defense a little further, as Valens is still lurking inside B. He wants this kill. Yeah, and he's going to put up towards tree. He calls it out. He knows he's gone construction, so he lets his teams know. Now he's flanking him, so Fallen's got a lot of work to do. He's going to have some players coming behind him. He does spread on Hiko, but look at the patience from the rest of the Nihilum players waiting for Valens to come behind him and take him out. So now it's a free B bomb site. Oh, Sanks almost caught, though. He's going to be forced to plant oranges one. They have to hold this from construction, or ideally need to hold this from construction, if it's possible. As we do see Molotov go out, try and roast the bomb planter, but he gets caught out either way. Sanks goes down. Semphis peeking back out. Does take down Bolts coming in from main entry. ZQK aware of the flank, but Valens, what a round from him. He opened that up. That was all his Eco doing with the P250 to get the gun up, and then he lurked all the way through the site, like you mentioned. And now Nihilum claw right back into the lead they had. Yeah, very good eco on it. And Valens is a player who's been a playmaker for these guys, and you know, he's the guy who's usually not fragging the most, but he makes huge plays. He had one masterful round on, or match on Cash earlier in this season, but there it was just beautiful work, and his communication with his teammates when they're trying to enter B, he's like, all right guys, just wait for me, just pause for 5 seconds, I'm gonna flank him. And you could see the team listen to him, and then he does everything for him. ZQK aggressively holding with an op in apartment. Semphis meanwhile takes down Fur, but now Bolts knows they're up. He's heard them go by. He's just waiting and waits perfectly patient as he catches out Sank. Second peek on automatic. Really good job not to overcommit to that peek too soon, or he might have been caught off when he came out the door, but he waits and lets them fall into the clutches. Now it's all up to Bolts inside this apartment just to make sure no one else is going to rush in toward that A site. Semphis, Valence, and Hiko. And the question is, where do they go? Because with this fire out, Semphis will get a little bit closer to the corner, but they're slowly running out of time. They still have a good amount to work with, 55 seconds, but slowly running out of time on this A push, at least position-wise, because Steel's already come over from the B site and got inside the library.
Yeah, and that push down banana from Seal last round, you can see how slowly they're falling back, because they know it's very, very possible that he pushed up once again, so eating up time, checking everything over at banana, but once again, they have a 1-on-3, and it's Fallen here with a mag 7. He's got a lot of work to do when this execution comes in. Just waiting at the moment. No rotations whatsoever from Keystars. They don't have a lot of information, and now they finally hear the footsteps. A pop flash. Actually, that's a smoke from the terrace side. Cephas jumps over. Max 7, he gets it on the second shot, and Fallen going so hard here. He gets all three. He's an absolute beast with that shotgun.
Or pardon me, that aggressive apartment sold, rather. Let's see if he can get this pick, because he had an excellent spawn, and he's already there. Fails on the bunny hop to get around the corner, though he actually went for his jump animation a little bit too soon, so lost the jump excel in the air, but with Fur pushed down and he can hold this angle onto stairs, they actually have a nice crossfire deep inside mid. They'll fall off it, though. No early picks. They won't overstay their welcome.
I cannot believe Fallen just had that play with that shotgun. That was absolutely huge. And now it's back to this default setup, so it's going to be Cephas and Hiko once again taking Hull's control, but they haven't found anything with it. There's nothing that's come from them taking Hull's control in either of the two matches on this map. So now that they have it, you see this attack coming over here. Oh, look at this push. This delayed push by Keystars. They volley off. They don't let Sex fall back, and they execute him there by the wood. So now they've got to go up to this A bomb site.
You could say they put him on the chopping block.
Ah, nice. Yes, they did.
So it's going to be for...
That's that use of Molotovs that we talked about with Keystars. It's very, very effective. North American teams just haven't figured out how to make plays like that, but they cut off his fallback, and then they just push him.
Shots coming out from Semphis, though. He looks hot tonight. I have to say, 9 kills for him, doubling up on anyone else on the team. In fact, tied with Fallen, who leads the server. And Fallen, speaking of, is on top of Spools, going for this quick peek, shuffling back and forth to get the first spotting out. And when he gets back out, he does do damage onto Hiko, but they've already around the corner. And Hiko's going for this default plant, but little do they know that Steel is in the emo spot, and he'll pop out. Well played. First player already goes over toward Fallen, so it was an easy shot for him to pick off Hiko. And Steel now shuffling over to Newbox, just has to wait bait out his teammate, and that's exactly what he does. He lets Fallen distract one on Semphis, and he'll take the other. And Fallen makes no mistake in taking the first one down, so they don't even lose a player in doing that switch play. And now it's 4-3. Keystars go back up by 1. It's back and forth just as quick as they like.
Yeah, but that was kind of a silly round from Nihilum. Hiko's planning in the default spot, and you saw they didn't clear the bomb site, and you saw automatic push all the way out towards CT spawn. You saw they got immediately upon Hiko starting to plant the bomb, they just spread so far out, no one was covering him, and there was actually still one player in construction as well, so there were 2 Keystars members at this B bomb site, and no one covering Hiko for the plant, so they just get massacred. But it is going to be 4-3 for Keystars. They do have a triple push B, and it is an eco round for Nihilum.
Nihilum not able to get much going in terms of fragging aside from Valen's on that one really good lurk play, and Semphis doing a lot of work. The others are all on 2 apiece. Semphis again is going to be the one that catches off the opening frag. Catches Fur this time deep inside, but Steel's fine 2 on the fallback. Really good use of the smoke, gets himself out of dodge. Now he gets another kill as they push through it, and Automatic's the one that drops this time. Steel continues his rotation, continues this passive fallback to get himself out of harm's way, and Fallen comes in to resume the aggression because Steel... Actually, believe this or not, Steel went all the way into a banana there and got away with 3 kills and 100 HP. That's crazy good use of his smoke to get back inside the site.
Yeah, and the question is, what's Nihilum going to do to switch some things up as this goes on? Because Keystars, their defense is starting to look really, really good. They're starting to catch some fire here, not let a whole lot go on. And some of it is just Nihilum. They're not really applying pressure anywhere but B later on in the rounds. Gets Elevate a couple rounds. They came up mid, and they actually got picks in the bracket control. Look at here, nice pop flash from Fur. He's going to peek and not see anything. But they actually got some kills. 2 rounds they went up mid and got bracket control, got a pick and fell back. They haven't tried anything like that yet in this matchup here. It's still just let Hiko take over these halls, not really do much, and then fall back into a B hit. So they're really not putting any variety into their offense at the moment.
Fallen's going to play on Cubby this time. Support pass play by Steel. And it's really solid A hold right now. Because ZQK pushed down Banana. If he goes down early enough, they'll be able to catch them off and actually tie for contest at the choke point on B on that rotation. I think it's just the difference of about 3 seconds. So they'd actually catch them as they crossed into the side. Regardless, they may not need to because it looks like they are going to come toward A. So Valen's automatic. Need to check out Cubby really quickly. Automatic looks like he wants to do it, but that flash comes out. They had no idea Fallen was there. He gets 2, including the bomb carrier. Sempus finally responding, but Steel comes out. He'll catch him, make it more. That M4 just going to work, and it's all left to Hiko, 1 versus 4. Spotting the first, making the good use of his aim through the crack, but Fur pops back out, takes him as well, and now Keedstars double up. It's 6-3, and we talked about how this was going to be CT-oriented from Nihilum and T-oriented from Keedstars, but if Key can do a massive job in getting themselves, especially in the first half, if they have the momentum to work with going onto their T side, if they can get themselves up to something like 8 or 9 rounds, they really do have a chance. And I would say better than a chance. I'd say they're going to be in a good position overall.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. 3 rounds at the moment isn't a bad thing for Nihilum. We saw them win, I believe it was 4 against Elevate. Maybe it was 5, but I mean, sitting at 3 right now, it's not a bad thing, especially like a team against Keedstars, but they do have this, look at the 3 Molotovs on their side. This looks like they almost want to make it into a B execution, mollying off the oranges, mollying off the triple, hitting into the bomb site. They do have 1 player lurking over towards the halls. That's Hiko. That's just his spot. He likes to lurk those halls 4 over towards B. This is very reminiscent of their pistol round, so it's going to be all up to if Steel can spot someone. Valen is ready with a pop flash, so Steel's got to be careful. Actually, that's a Molotov. Okay, so they use 1 Molotov to push him back. They take control of the car and the sandbags, and now they're going to execute the Molly strategy.
So this is good. This is actually similar to how Keedstars. Finally, that one comes over, but already Steel's back inside the quad box. He actually pops out, makes good use of the first 2 kills, make it 3 as he swaps to the pistol, and finally Sempus puts an answer to him. As the bomb does go down, that smoke will dissipate in front of Connector. Allows ZQK the angle he needs to find Sempus, and it's all just lonely Valens, and he'll walk out to a beautifully up-close position. ZQK, who with the op gets 1 more kill to his name, and now it's going to be 7 for Keedstars, only losing 1 player despite, again, what seems to be the best. I don't know what it is with North American teams. That's actually something else to note. Their best executions oftentimes come on pistol rounds because they give up the gig on trying to play for picks and using the guns. They go strictly for strategy, and it seems to be that there's a balance that needs to be found between guns and pistols in that sense.
Well, one thing they're really struggling with is the amount of money that's on Keedstar's side. They're able to, once again, they have 4 Molotovs in their arsenal, and on that retake, they used every single Molotov they had before they even tried to take over the bomb site, and it was only against 2 players, so Keedstar's being very, very efficient, not risking anything, just playing very conservative in situations, and using their Molotovs perfectly. This is something we haven't seen. Actually, 2 players. Sempus is on point tonight. He's got the first entry. He gets a second one as well. He's got to be careful. It is falling over towards Small Pit. He takes 2, and he almost gets away, but Sanks does drop him. So in 2-on-3, the bomb is being planted, and there goes the smoke over at Small Pit. So it's going to be a very tough retake for Keedstars.
Yeah, that smoke on Moto makes it extremely hard. In fact, smoke out the front side arches as well on the back side of middle with a player lurking deep inside that. That's Valens. So this is really good setup right now from Nihilum. And ZQK wants to push directly through it. And as he does, he discovers that Hiko is playing the Gravedigger. He waits for him. Steel now wants to do the same. Knows Hiko's still in that corner. Actually makes good of it. So Hiko overlooks the position. Changes his sights back toward Truck and gets caught off guard. Valens, though, pops out. Makes good work of Steel as he tries to get away. Now, who lost there? We actually lost one. I don't think it was Valens.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
I think it was whoever was in pit. I think it was Automatic that went down. So we did lose 1 gun right there from Nihilum, and it would be a victory to keep that rifle up because, like you mentioned, the economy is still really good for Keedstars, and this causes yet another reset. It's not a full money bonus, but it is a reset. Actually, it was a full. It was 5. Wow, that was 5 in a row. Hard to believe because we were so back and forth when we started.
Yep. And, you know, we haven't talked about this much, but Fallen's at 17-5. He's got three teammates at 5 or less frags, and now double op setup. They've got to be careful. There's one in the halls. That ZQK doesn't fall back, though. He's playing very, very aggressively. They could catch him out. And you think he's actually going to get away in time. He does. He falls all the way back to the corner. So he gets away safe, but very, very lucky. But this double op setup out of Keystar is coming at a very crucial point. This is going to throw Nihilum off if they're not careful, because there's 4 players over at the A bomb site right now.
TQK again using the op. Good work. Second shot on Sempus. And as he falls to the safety of the site, Bolts will have to address the angle from the apartments. He goes lurking up there, as we often see him do, but such a hard entry. And in fact, ZQK, knowing there's no more threat, walks back up, finds automatic. Really well executed play from him as Sanks comes out, though. Answers back into it, knows he has to go quickly on the last step, does so. But it's still a doubled situation for Keystars, 4-on-2 right now. As Fallen has good control of the banana. There's nowhere for them to go. They can't even fall back down the window. Even if they did that, Furs in top middle, he'd catch them on the cross. And in fact, he's going to push down that now and get behind them at Boiler. The only consolation of that positioning is that there's only 2 on the site. So if they can find the entries in swift fashion, it would work out for them. But Bolts isn't going to allow for that. He'll catch Sanks. Tico drops to Fur. And it was a 4-on-2 situation. It's an 8-4 situation on the scoreboard.
Yeah, now the money's reset, and ZQK, just a beast that round. He just does so much damage. 3 kills with the AWP before a return frag comes in, so defense still holding strong. But because they actually won that round, this might only have to be a single save, which would be absolutely huge for Nihilum if they were able to get 2 more gun rounds in this matchup. But they do have 5 Tech 9s and Valens with just 1 smoke and 2 flashes. This is just looking like a B-rush. You've got to be careful. Fallen's blind with his op, and he falls back. He gets away. Here come the Molotovs to slow him down. And it is. They have to stop behind it. It gets deployed far too early for him to run through, and a second Molotov goes down. This push is completely stopped. Fergod comes in on the flank. Takes 1 out. Takes out a second. Even a third. So he's just
2 HP, and he pulls out the USB for the 1 tap.
That's just unbelievable stuff. So nice defense from Keystars. Very good managing that B-rush.
So now we'll see a double up. Back into play right away, and 4 rounds Nihilum. You kind of touched on that. You thought 3 might potentially be enough early on in the half, but with only 4 at this point in time, it's starting to become a little more worrisome because, again, Keystars are so good on their T side. It's something like 60% of T-sided rounds and 70% of rounds for CT, so you'd think that should meet in the middle somewhere, and even if they get something like that 40% or maybe even 30%, that would be enough right now if they're on 10.
Yeah, you got to remember it's like a 62% win rate against new move-ups. Against 2 move-ups on their T side. It drops a little bit. It dropped a little bit against LG.
Mind you, the LG game was on Train, and we can't read too much into the meta of Train yet for Keystars because they didn't look like they had the swift execution working in their favor. ZQK, though, will collect the first, take it 2 as he gets Valens on the fallback. Does take some damage, though. As he gets dinked up and domed down to 20, he has to fall back inside the site, but look at the response. First slides out from CT and sets up the secondary position. That's bomb down, automatic Scott. That bomb fell forward, so Hiko has to expose himself on the attempted regrab, and as he does so, Fur collects him with a grenade, and now they've got double digits as we head into the last round of the first half. Yeah,
ZQK's just been putting on a clinic ever since he picked up this AWP. He's been doing real work. This double op setup, Nihilum has no answer for it. They haven't been able to counter it whatsoever. We now have... It's Fallen with 18-5, Steel with 15. ZQK's caught up a little bit. He's at 10. Fur's also at 10. So a great defense all across the board from Keystars. And Nihilum, once again, we said 2 rounds against Elevate on their T side. They only have 2 here, and actually this looks bad. Valens just gets hit. Not too bad, actually. It came through the light post.
An aggressive play from Fur. Steals at the car. He'll fire off the shots to at least distract and cover off Fur as he gets into position. This now gives Steel a good position to rotate away, and in fact, that's exactly what he's going to do. So early rotation, and Fur's going to push all the way through, but he gets caught off by Sempus. That'll call Steel back, as Sempus does have the bomb. But Fur, that was some aggressive play. That was some ballsy play, and Valens managed to get Fallen, but ZQK making quick work as he turns back and finds Valens, and he'll go no further, so it's all on Sempus, and this looks like it could be an 11-4 halftime, but Sempus has opened up the B site if he realizes this, and I think he has, because he knows he's picked up 1 already before that kill. Could get in and get this bomb down. Smoke. Perfectly covers off the shot from ZQK. Bomb does go down. Sempus now has to hold, and he wants to get aggressive in doing so. He's going to push all the way in toward construction. But he needs to be careful when he walks through the doorway, or if he does, because ZQK is waiting with that op, and very good patience so far from Sempus. And it's actually been fought off CK. He's faded off that shot.
He's got a Molotov. If he can use that on the bomb, that'd be huge. I don't know if he knows it.
He knows Bolts is in close. Has to hit this shot, but ZQK covers, and you called it. If he had thrown that Molotov out, it would have prohibited that plant, or rather defuse, and then prohibited the peak even longer. So it just would have delayed everything.
Yeah, he might have picked that up off a dead body and just not known it. That might be the big thing. So a very good half by Keystars.
It was an actual Molotov, so it would have been T-sided, and I don't think he passed anyone's body. So he had that because he was the last player up the stairs, and there was no corpses he would have walked over on the way to the B site. So he definitely had that out of spawn.
Alrighty, well, that could have been an interesting addition to how we wanted to clutch that round. But either way, 4 rounds for Nihilum. They're keeping it consistent with those two gun rounds on the terror side of Inferno they got against Elevate. They only get 2 here against Keystars. It was those ops out of Keystars at the end that really started to shut things down. And they threw it in perfectly, actually. Look at this. This looks like a very fast B play.
Well, it looks like a very fast B play, but they do slow things down, yeah. And that smoke comes out late from Valens as well. But we have 1, 2, 3 flashes and a smoke for Keystars. So flashes to go over and a smoke to get onto the CT connector. That's exactly the case. Valens finding 3 on the way by. Sanks pops out and Fallen will drop as well. And Keystars, their execution will amount to nothing as ZQK finds himself in a very lonely 1 versus 4. And that was pursuing.
That was brilliant play by Valens, getting so many kills, hiding in the smoke. Wonderful stuff. And
ZQK manages to get 1 in the back, but Sempus will pop out on that Q and take him down. And now everyone knows what my face looks like when I'm casting around, because unfortunately we were lagged out of the server from our observer perspective, but we'll get back into it. But essentially they bought up 3 flashes and a smoke, tried to go for a quick get into Banana, get the presence, get the map control, then slow it down and go for the execution. And unfortunately when they walked in, Valens was pushed up underneath the left side in the cubby and caught them all off guard.
Yeah, he got 3, and then he pushes through the smoke and just continues to live while the backup comes in. So we talked about this is going to be that offensive side of the Keystars versus the defensive emphasis of Nihilum. Starting out very well for Nihilum there. They've won both pistol rounds now in this match.
Fert gonna lob a smoke out onto the A site. That actually lands back toward the pit. And Keystars with a man down already, just trying to find some space to work with. As once again, they have 3 flashes, this time a Molotov as well. Look for that to be bounced off Skybox if they go in on B. That's how they often do it. In fact, it looks like ZQK is already in position to aim for that. As the smoke in the hands of Fergod, that's pointed directly at the CT connector.
Look at this read by Nihilum, though. 3 players here.
Well, they shut them down last time on the same approach. The flash comes out this time. Smoke. This will force Sempus back, so they don't have anyone to set up a direct crossfire with. But with Automatic and Hiko, they've got enough inside the site to do the damage, and that's exactly the case. Sempus pops out for the smoke like Rambo in an Uzi with that MP7, and he probably had a cigarette in that smoke. That was probably what all the smoke was from.
Yeah, well, just a cigar while he's blasting away. But nicely done by Nihilum. Good read there as well. So that's going to force a full-blown eco out of Keystars. Sempus putting himself together in a match. This is great, because this is what we talked about at the beginning of the season when we started seeing Nihilum, is we want to see Sempus get back to his old self with some of these big matches. We haven't seen this out of him in some time here. Look at this aggressive play, too. Nihilum doesn't want to give any room for him to work on this eco round, though Bolts does find one on his own. That's the bomb, unfortunately, so no matter what these last 4 players do, they have to go reach it. Valens jumps out a window. Talk about Rambo. He falls down on a Fallen, takes off his head quickly into a 4-on-2 situation.
So Fur is going to rotate back around to the library side, but gets caught by Sanks. He actually had good lurk potential because he was deep inside the A site, but Steel, he'll be the last to drop. Sempus finding him as well, and Sempus continues to lead the way up for his team. 19 overall. Valens is next on 11, but in the server it's Fallen and that's in first. He's got 20. And things are starting to normalize now. We're starting to get back to a closer situation. Obviously, 3 straight rounds after the pistol for Nihilum, and it's Keedstar's turn to bring out the guns. They essentially have to win this, or we're potentially going to go for like a neck-and-neck battle race to the finish. And I think they need to continue with this cushion, this lead, because the more they give up early, the more they're going to have to string together consecutively at the end. And I don't know if that's in them right now.
Yeah, and Sanks has this off. He misses the first shot. He gets brought down so incredibly low too, but look at this. All 5 members of Nihilum over towards B. That's going to cause a rotate. Smoke's already coming out. This has got to feel scary. Here comes the execute.
And that smoke does get out, but Hiko doing good work. Sangst is there as well, and there's the CT side off from Sangst. What a great push from Sempis to get in through that smoke as well. And that works out perfectly. That was absolutely a round that I thought potential was there for Keedstar.
Yeah.
They had a 2 passive hold at B. They didn't have anyone rotating over quick enough, and the execution was halfway done by the time Hiko got around, and then they shut them down massively.
Yeah, I mean, that was a brilliant rotation by Sempis. That is such an intelligent rotation. That's sometimes often where you'll see that fast pressure put onto B, and teams will just be like, no, we'll just smoke it off, we'll just chill. You're not actually going to hit it this early, but Sempis comes in hot. Hiko gets those first 2. Now look at Automatic. Pushing down mid once again, but there is this smoke blocking things off. He's just staying at the bench right now, watching both ways. Doesn't see anything in alternate. So he's going to try and corral these guys over towards B, but there's a time limit on this push.
So first gun gone, they go back to pistols on Keedstar's side, and we're going to be within 2 rounds of each other. Pending an anti-eco, of course, as Fallen takes down Automatic at the bench as he jumps up onto the haystack. And he finds the needle at 1 in a million. Not really 1 in a million when you have a Tech 9.
And that was that time limit Fallen with a beautiful shot. So now they have a rifle to work. They can recover it. They haven't been able to get it quite yet. And there's Sempis chiming in one more time. Impact frag. Sanks bails him out with a nice op shot from Boiler.
How did he not hit Sempis with that?
You want to talk about threading the needle?
That was crazy. He literally shot right beside. How does Bolts hit that as well? As he pre-aims down the hall and then has to snap back as Valens is a lot closer than he anticipated, but that was impressive stuff as Sempis tries to get shots into Bolts. This will allow ZQK to push up further because they know exactly where he's going to be. And this puts him stuck in the corner, and Sempis will go down. Finally, they get him out of a round and have potential to get a plant in before the rotation comes over. Hiko and Sanks are on their way quite quickly. And actually, Sanks has already checked off smoke at the top of middle. This means they essentially both have to head Moto's side, and there's no more smokes to delay them any further. So common, we see that smoke go out. It's going to be a flash this time instead, so Bolts has to go for the peak aggressively in order to slow this down even further, and it is successful. He does get that shot. Not often you see a post-plant peak, but with no smoke, they had to take out one early. And it works out perfect for Keedstars.
Well, he's also in that position where, with 2 teammates in the bomb site, he knows the hardest thing for them to handle is someone who's going to wide peek along that wall. So even with 10 HP, he realizes once the execute comes in, that's his job, is to just swing out like that, either get a kill like he did or cause a distraction for his teammates to alleviate some pressure on him. So a very nice take from Keedstars on that eco round. That's going to put him up to 12, and now this is dangerous for Nihilum. That kind of stops their momentum a little bit. Now they've got to win this one or else they're forced onto a save.
So they go for the boost up toward Banana this, and it is going to be a 3-man stack over on that side. Hiko's going to, now that they have a deep smoke, Hiko's going to push down, and they'll double rotate off it just by getting this early mid control. So Flash goes out for, going to follow that up with a nade over toward the patio just to clear it off as that smoke's still on the corner. They won't have the vision. And Fur, I love that, just back and forth peeking every time he tries to step.
Yeah, but these smokes on both sides of the bomb site have really slowed down this hit. Oh, look at this boost from Keedstars. They actually boost ZQK up onto the oh, look at these 2 kills. Automatic and Sempis going down, didn't get anything. Now they're going to wrap on this bomb site. This is very scary for Nihilum.
Very scary indeed, but Sank's going to pull one back. There's that CT off, and he's working so well with it. But Keedstars now have a player outside balcony. And with Fallen on the front of the bomb site, there was nowhere they could go. And ZQK wanted that kill so badly, he shoots Fallen in the back. That hurts their economy a little bit, but nonetheless, they do get up to 13 rounds at a very crucial time. Now they've got 3 to go, and again, their T-side's starting to roll. Interestingly, it's A, because usually it's that Molotov bounce on B that's the success for them.
Yeah, they've just, this is looking a lot like their first match where they just started, eventually they just hit a point against Ace Gaming on their T side. They went 10 for 2. Or they went 10 out of 12. They won on their T side. I mean, they just really got rolling, got heated up, and it was so hard to stop them. ZQK with his op has been very effective, very impactful for Keatstars, both on the T and the CT side. That was a brilliant round out of Keatstars there. They had mid control, but they didn't press the issue, so it really forced Nihilum to make some aggressive plays to find the intel or push him back, and that's kind of when Keatstars punished him and then pounced onto the bomb site. So good stuff out of the Brazilians.
Smoke again in front of the car. They don't really use that to anything other than to slow them down. There's no control gain from it because Semphis had gone for an early rotation. ZQK finding Sanks this time. An excellent peek from Bolts. Just checking the angle, realizes Valens is there, but they don't realize they've got another pusher coming out from the apartments. And Automatic may actually get one kill out from behind them right now if he's careful and calculated. But Steel somehow still checking back on that flank. He's going to go ready to pick up the 5-7. So despite that he had the gun, he wants the pistol as well. And Fallen closing down on Hiko. It's going to be 14 now for Keatstars. As Nihilum, the other 4-0 team, look like they might be the first to drop the goose egg.
Well, Cloud9's undefeated as well, but they're only like
okay, but yeah, they have 2 games.
Yeah.
Doesn't count.
Doesn't count. Take them out, coach.
Yep, gone.
So this is a critical round here for Nihilum. No kits on their side. Sanks does not have a smoke whatsoever. So very, very light on utility. And here's those 4 Molotovs from Keatstars. I find it interesting. They get 4 Molotovs on their T side on every map. They don't get a 5th one, like, ever. I don't know why I noticed that, but every single time I'm always looking at their Molotov count, and it's 4 no matter what, no matter how much money they all have.
I cannot answer these things for you.
I know, we'll have to have a chat with Fallen or something one of these days. There's got to be a reason for it. Sorry.
It's okay, no. Fur's doing that same play just to check underneath the patio. And he lurks out from Boiler again. Automatic and Valens, as we could see in the backside of that smoke, just waiting for someone to push through. They'll re-smoke apartments. That won't allow Steel any vision when he gets up closer at the front of the hallway. ZQK wants to get that shot with the op in toward Archway. This double stack pit, though, is interesting because they're both kind of hyper-focused on the same direction, that same angle, and someone needs to make sure they fall off and can cover the opposing side. That's what Valens is going to do. So he'll actually go into the doorway. This is going to cause for an interesting exchange, and Steel gets the better of it. And now ZQK does spot out that shoulder feek and Sanks. Goes back for more and only finds is a bullet with his name on it. A bullet for his Valentine, and as Fallen catches Automatic, they'll get this bomb plant down, and we have a potential match point on our hands because Semphis and Hiko, they're all the way over at B. Bolts is pursuing, and they're actually going to pinch them because ZQK is going to have the op coming from CT for that long shot.
These last few gun rounds from Keatstars has been so amazing. I really, they've barely taken any damage whatsoever. Steel, the only one who's been hit so far this round. The last round was pretty much flawless victory for him, so there's Bolts taking out Semphis. No chance at saving these guns. He goes going to get taken out by ZQK. Uses that Molotov to flush him out of position. And this is a very, very masterful T-side put together by Keatstars at the moment. Finding all the picks they need and making all the right mid-round decisions. Fallen is up to 27 and 12. So even, we talked about Fur before this match, averaging 26 per map. But, you know, he's down to 12 and 12, but Fallen's picked up the slack. So just so many talented players for this Brazilian team.
So execution toward Banana this time. Keatstars finally going back to it. They do have these Molotovs out, so we'll see if they bounce them off the skyboxes. First flash, a little bit light, does bounce up, so it would catch them inside the site, but unfortunately catches their teammates as well. They'll go no further with it. But there's that late smoke deployed now from Nihilum at the choke point. Fur's already made his way around the corner in towards sandbags. Fallen's at alt mid too, and as Steel plays down at the bottom of middle, they won't be able to pinch them in Banana, so they'll have the room to work with. First Molotov out, that covers off CT. No smoke this time to go with it, but they actually extinguish the smoke, leaving the gap open. That's quite smart from Semphis. He threw that just deep enough to do both tasks, and they get fire out in the front. So those were well-positioned grenades right there from Nihilum to slow down Keatstars a little bit further, but they're still just going to sit stationary inside Banana. They did lose one player in ZQK. But there's that smoke this time. Semphis now has to rotate back through construction. Smoke's bouncing over. This time they want in. Flash goes out. Unfortunately, catches Bolts and a counter. Flash will catch them all. They can't get around the corner. This is sloppy right now from Keystars. Not something we're used to seeing. But Semphis again, outweighed by the smoke on the spools. He's going to push through it. He does so successfully. 5-7 takes down Fallen. Bolts goes back to Hiko, but Sank's already finding Fur. But Steel's going to finally make the trades lopsided, as does Bolts, and it comes down to a one-on-one as they claw back with 2 consecutive kills. The bomb picked up by Bolts. He's going to plant it at first. Orange is into the safety plant right now because all he has to do is win this one-on-one. There's no one else to cover a crossfire. His post-plant positioning, less important, but I think Valens knows. I think Valens anticipates that he's in that position because he's checked every other angle. So Bolts, who's holding Clue and holding that spot, gets caught off guard.
The aim
actually, yeah, exactly. Valens couldn't do anything about it, so that's going to win it for him, even though Valens knew exactly where he was, but the FAMAS unable to succeed in that duel.
Yep.